Welcome back, traders. This is Sandra with Trading Made Simple, and I recorded a trade that I did today. I wanted to edit it, but the trade ended up being about an hour and 10 minutes or so. And so as I was starting to edit it, that was also taking hours for me to do, and so I thought this might be easier. So here's the play-by-play, guys. We got into Tesla on a live trade, and really what we're doing is utilizing the RSI label. I got into this trade when RSI was 55, and that's when I got a fresh bullseye indicator. Now these are, custom indicators that were made for our subscribers here at tradingmadesimple.org. However, in this video, I'm describing how I have an earlier video that I did about scalping and intraday trading utilizing the RSI label. And so that was an example today on this intraday trade. That's exactly what we did. We entered at 55, and I said, if the RSI breaks below the 55 level, then we're going to exit this trade. And if that ends up happening, we're going to exit with a small loss. And that's important because you need to keep your losses small and you need to keep your winners in order to actually make money as a trader. So here what we did is we entered the trade, and of course I just keep on talking. Now as you can see, we get to the zero, but the 57 RSI, 58 RSI that we're at here now never ends up breaking below the 55 level. Now, before I continue, if you're liking this type of content, please like, subscribe, and share. I really do appreciate it, and I don't say that often enough, and I'm supposed to. So if you could help me grow my channel, I really do appreciate it. So as you can see, we're in this trade live, and we just keep on going. And at this point, I'm on a treadmill because this is how long these types of trades take, and the reason is because, trading sometimes is very arduous, especially when it's after the first 90 minutes of the morning. So the first 90 minutes of the morning, you have a lot of action in the morning, and you have a lot of volume in the morning, and you can get some really good movement. So if your expectation of profit is 25% on a morning trade, or maybe a swing overnighter, you can totally get that. Here I'm talking about actually creating a trail stop. We're getting to the point here where we're only at 7% profit. However, we're in profit. And as the trade is moving on, I'm showing you how to create a trail stop. And a trail stop allows you to be in a trade with profit and say, hey, at this point, I'm willing to put in a trail stop and walk away from the computer. And I'm willing to give Tesla, as an example, in this scenario, I'm willing to give it 20 bucks to see if it will, continue to grow. And if it doesn't, and it from its highest point drops down to below $20 from the initial time that I get in here, then what it'll do is it'll stop me out. So as you can see in this example, I'm in this Tesla call as an example, and the profit on that 7% is $14. So if I set this trail stop on right now for 20 cents, you see how it says negative 20 cents. If I set that trail stop for that 20 cents, what will happen is if that's the highest point it gets to and then it drops down 20 cents, then it'll get me out of this trade with a $6 loss, right? Because I have approximately $14 here. If it went down another $6, I would be out with that total of the 20 cent trail stop. Because what the trail stop does is it actually just trails price. It trails it on up. And then as soon as it actually goes down that entire amount of 20 from the highest point, that's when it gets you up. So if it went down 10 or it went down 5 or it went down 15 or even 19, it'd keep you in the trade and it would keep you there until its highest point and then go down. So I love trail stops. I don't know if you know that, but I have a lot of videos where I talk about it because it was one of those aha moments during automation that I was like, wow, this is a really cool tool, and I think you might like it as well. As we fast forward through the trade, you can see that we're fluctuating with profit. Now here I'm actually describing this TTM LRC regression channel. It's a free indicator on thinkorswim. And what's interesting about the regression channel is that you can actually use your drawing tools and put a trend line on the last line here on the regression channel, and then you can visually see the regression channel start moving in the upward direction. So when I often say, hey, you know, when price is going really low and it's like a bus, you know, with no brakes, and when it finally starts to pause and turn around, it takes a while for that bus to turn around, and you can actually see that real time if you stick your trend line here on that regression channel and start to see the movement. So I'm going to show you that as I fast forward through this. Look at how the regression channel now is sideways. It was pointing down, and we had our regression line here, and now you can see the regression channel, or the bus, right? It's turning around. It's going in the opposite direction. But look, we're at 74 RSI, and we're only at 2%. This is how long it takes sometimes to make profit when you're intraday trading and you're sitting here in front of your computer for an hour. So, so now what ends up happening is we can actually see the regression channel start pointing up. We're still at 74, but now relative strength is actually behind price. You could see that price basically is just consolidating here, waiting for another push up. And then as we go, I'm over here talking about, you know, different items of confluence when you're looking at a chart. Now, clearly this, you know, video I was live for an hour, and so boy, I was really trying to make conversation. And so one of the things I'm talking about is our indicators. So we have the wave, the bullseye, and then we have a dynamic watch list that gives you buy and sell signals. And what I was talking about is like, I'm having S&P 500 here on our dynamic watch list, and as you can see, we do have 15-minute sells on a lot of these items, but I'm looking really for not only a 15-minute sell, but a 60-minute sell. And then this last column is pre-market high and low, and so I've identified it for our subscribers with a green label or a red label along with price to show you, so that you could look at the chart and do your own DD. But here, if we get a 15-minute sell and a 60-minute sell, and then also it breaks pre-market low, wow, 3 items of confluence right there. And of course, I put volume down because I like to see volume, see how big the audience is in that that ticker. I don't trade guild. There was another one I talked about in here, but that was the meaning of that, is just to say, hey. Here was an example of a 15-minute sell, a 60-minute sell, and you had the pre-market low also, the ticker being below that. So that was a nice 3 items with a confluence just by looking at your watch list. We try to make it simple here at tradingmadesimple.org. So let's keep going. All right, so you could see, again, still at 5%, for goodness sakes. We're 40 minutes into this live trading session, and we're at 7%. So if you're thinking about making money quickly in trading, sometimes that happens, and that's why we love overnight swings. But for intraday trades, you can kind of see now how we're using the RSI. It never got below that 55 level, and we're still in the trade, and we're at 15%. So now we're starting to break through Darvis. Darvis is a special indicator as well that shows consolidation, and once it starts to break out of consolidation, you typically get a decent move here, and that's exactly when we get to the 20% level. And as we get to the 20% level, I'm exiting the trade because, you know, let's see, how far are we into this right here? We are into this 42 minutes. We're at the 20% level, and I'm pretty happy with our results here. And as soon as we get out of the trade, here I am closing, as soon as we get out of the trade, you can see that RSI skips from 76 to 82. And when it does that, I get over exuberant and enter into another call. So when I do that, you could see the TTM LRC, how how many times we created that line, right, to show you how the bus had turned around. Our initial goal, by the way, was this target, 274.90. And here, as I'm discussing certain things about the trade, all of a sudden we dropped down. And by the way, when we entered that new trade, the RSI was around 75, 76. So I said, hey, look, you know, I'm willing to try it out. But if RSI gets below 75, 76, I'm going to exit. And as you can see, we get about 2 or 3% profit, but nothing too great until it does drop down. And when it does drop down to the 76 level, is when I exit this trade with like a 3% loss. And that was the end of that video, just to show you that you can utilize the RSI label to intraday trade successfully, and to make you feel confident about just staying in the trade on a 5-minute chart versus going on a 30-second or a 1-minute, going in and out, in and out, in and out, right? And you know, who doesn't love to scalp? But to be honest with you, when you're paying more money in commissions on the in and outs, you know, it's better. My thought process is when you enter a trade and it starts to go in your favor, start adding to the trade. You know, there's a lot of items that occur to us as we're going through this trade where you can see that everything is working in our favor. And that's when you would start adding 5 contracts or a couple of contracts as an example, to increase the size of your trade so that you can make a larger profit. I just wanted to give you an update. It's the end of day. Remember that we actually got out right here on our trade at 20%, and look at how Tesla went. So if we would have kept our same reasoning with RSI not below 55, we probably would have just kept going if you're okay with setting your stop loss at break even and going from there. Great day in Tesla. Glad we were able to take the very beginning of this trade. And so see you on the next one. tradingmadesimple.org.